And I do see that we have a quick question. Let's see. Repeat the email address. So I'm going to pop in my email address into the chat. And if you do need past slides or whatnot, feel free to email me. So I just pop that in there. Thank you. All right, so today we are going to be talking about using your smartphone to create video. So we will go over what I like to call my 6 tips and tricks. So 6 things to definitely keep in mind when you're filming video using your smartphone or your smart device, whether it's iPad, your Android phone, whatever kind of device it is. You will have to keep in mind light, holding it steady, the audio, having it be close up on your subject, vertical filming, and also using mobile apps to help you to edit these videos or even create more quality videos. So those are the 6 different things that we are going to cover today about how to create quality videos using your smartphone. And then we will go over one of my most favorite apps. It's called Filmora Go, and I use it for video editing. And it's something that's super intuitive. Definitely you just need to play around with it for a day or two and you'll certainly get the hang of it. And it's really great. I picked this one to go over in depth because it does allow you to access it on Android and on Apple. So on iOS and in any kind of Android operating system. They do also have, and I'm not sure if it's free or not, but they do also have something for your desktop. So that's kind of cool too. If you really are loving it on your smart device and then maybe you upgrade, a year or so later to actually using a video camera, you could still use Filmora Go for your video editing capabilities. So that's the app that we're going to go over. There are so many apps out there. So I do preface that maybe this is not for you, discover something else that's out there. Tons of free ones are available. And I will give you some access to different blogs and resources that list out some other types of video editing apps. So did want to just preface it with that. All right, so number 1 in our 6 ways to create quality videos on your smartphone is lighting. I cannot say enough about lighting. It is certainly key when you are starting to take a video. So light has a huge impact on your smartphone camera lens. So the smartphone camera compared to a regular camera has a much smaller image sensor and lens. So you do have to keep that in mind that your smartphone or smart device is going to be really sensitive to lighting and if you have a lighting change. So I always say shoot your video in brightly lit areas and avoid unnecessary shadows and grainy areas in your video. So if you shoot something in a very bright room or it's a bright, nice day outside, definitely make sure that you're avoiding things that will cast shadows or whatnot. And then do not point the camera directly at a bright light source. So I'm in an office space right now. So if I were to point my camera up at the light, it would result in a very overexposed type of footage, or lens flaring is what they call that. So your lighting should be stable and steady, and image sensors do not react to dramatic changes in lighting very quickly. So that's something else to keep in mind, that if you're going from a light room to a dark room, your camera is going to kind of freak out and it's not going to know what to do because you're changing the light sources very quickly. So I know you guys are primarily all farmers and you're filming a lot outside. So we will watch a video that has some tips and tricks for whenever you are outside that I thought was really helpful. But, I wouldn't go out on a day that, the light, maybe a lot of clouds are covering the sun back and forth and your lighting is getting a little wonky. Maybe wait until earlier in the morning when you have a nice light source, or that golden hour when the sun is starting to go down and there's not as many shadows. So kind of play around with the time of day when you are filming. And then you can use what they call touch focusing if your camera is focusing on the wrong area of your composition. So how whenever you're taking a photo, for instance, if you're pointing at a subject and their face is really, really dark, you could point, just tap on your smart device on that person's face, and it will instantly use touch focusing to adjust the light. So some people are still kind of new to that, and it's something that's just built into your smart device, which is really cool. So play around and touch different areas of your screen. And if you touch and hold, I know on my smart device, I use Android. If I touch and hold, it will lock it on that one spot. So instead of having your lens automatically adjust, if you touch and hold, your camera will focus on that one spot and adjust the lighting accordingly. So that is something cool. It's like a lock feature is what they call it. So this is the video I really wanted to share with you guys. It's about 3-4 minutes long, but it just does such a great job of going over different lighting tips. And the person that filmed it, they go over, you know, if you're inside, if you're outside, what to do, how to make some adjustments. So I think it is really helpful. So we are going to watch this video, and it will be in the slides when I send it to you. So you can certainly refer back to it and watch it again if you'd like. So let me share my computer audio.
There we go, much better. Hey guys, I'm Matt Mead. I'm the visual storyteller at BombBomb, and today I want to give you 7 lighting tips for your videos, and specifically personal video, because at BombBomb that's what we do. We do personal video. We understand the power of personal video, but if your lighting's bad, then that can really throw off your video messages. All right, my first tip is for if you're indoors during the day, just find a window, but preferably a window that's in the shadows. So a window that's not being flooded by sunlight, because the problem is if the window's being flooded by daylight, then you're going to get all these harsh shadows on your face, and you're going to end up squinting in the sun like this. You don't want to look like this when you're sending someone a video message. So preferably a window that's in the shadows, so you're just getting a nice diffused glow on your face. Tip number 2 is for if you're indoors at night. I recommend just finding a nice bright lamp, but make sure it's diffused. Here's an example of a desk lamp creating a really nice soft light because of the built-in diffusion. So if you look at the lamps I'm using here, these actually are pretty simple. They have 5 bulbs inside and then this nice diffusion on top. And it's the diffusion that creates the soft light so I don't get the harsh shadows on my face. So make sure the lamp is pretty even with your head, maybe slightly above, because if the lamp is too far in any direction, that can start creating a lot of shadows on your face, and that gets distracting. Another great option is to buy a ring light. You can actually get ring lights that fit right onto your phone, so when you're shooting a video on your phone, you're getting nice balanced light on your face. All right, tip number 3 is for when you're outside on a sunny day. If it's a cloudy day, you don't have to worry about anything. You're gonna get nice diffused light no matter where you go. But if it's sunny, I recommend finding somewhere in the shade so you're not getting direct sunlight. The direct sun is gonna create really harsh shadows on your face, and you're probably gonna end up squinting while you're recording your video. As you can see right now, the shadows are really harsh on my face. I'm squinting. This is just a really bad image. There we go, much better. So this is a much better place to shoot a video. Tip number 4 is for when you're outside at night. Obviously, this can be very tricky. If all you have is moonlight, that probably isn't enough light. But if you can find a street lamp, you can make it work. Just make sure that you're not too far underneath the lamp, because you're gonna get these long shadows down your face, and people probably won't be able to see your eyes. And if people can't see your eyes, instead they see these black gouges, that's creepy, and it's important not to be creepy in your videos. Tip number 5 is for if you're shooting at your desk. If you have a window behind your desk, that might be enough to get the job done, as long as the light coming through isn't too harsh, because if it's too harsh, you'll start getting those weird shadows again. You don't want that. If you don't have a good natural source of light, you're gonna need to get a lamp. All you need really is a basic LED lamp. That'll get the job done. You can shoot on your phone. If you're shooting on a webcam, we recommend Logitech. Logitech makes great webcams that don't need a ton of light to capture a good image. So even if there's not a ton of light in the room, if you're using a Logitech, you'll still get a good picture. I recently did a review on the Logitech C920, so if you're looking for more information on that model, go check it out. That's the model that most of us use here at BombBomb. Tip number 6 is to avoid mixed light. So if you have a lamp that's creating the warm tungsten light next to a window where you have the cooler light coming through the window, it can create this weird mixture of light on your face. The mixed light can make it really hard on your camera sensor, which is trying to auto white balance between the warmer light and the cooler light. Depending on how the sensor's choosing to white balance, it can make the light really warm, really really yellow on your face or really pale and blue. So here, let me see if I can show you. All right, so here you can kind of see the difference. You can see the cooler light coming from the window and the warmer light coming from inside. If you find that your camera is really struggling with the different color temperatures, I recommend just turning off the overhead lights or your lamp and just going with the natural light. Tip number 7 is to avoid overwhelming backlight. Backlight can be really cinematic and it can help separate you from the background, but when it comes to simple video, it's really not necessary. Most webcams only have auto exposure, so if there's too much light behind you, the camera will end up setting the exposure to the light that's behind you, leaving your face in the dark. So it'll end up looking something like this when your camera's trying to expose on the light behind you because there's too much backlight. Your face is going to be left in the shadows. I'm going to turn these back on. I hope these tips help you shoot better videos, but when it comes to personal video, timing's the most important thing. So don't wait around for perfect lighting conditions when you have the opportunity to send someone a personal video. Just take out your phone, grab your webcam, shoot the video, and if you're squinting in the sun, send it anyways, because making that personal connection is the most important thing.
All right. Okay, so I think he is absolutely fantastic. I know Coco is chiming in there on chat that she really was enjoying that one. And I just love that video because it's so hard. You know, I'm sitting here right now in an office with, you know, one light source on a window. And so I just thought this YouTube video was such a great way to really explain some lighting tips and tricks. And he already, you know, has done the homework and has showed you different areas that he's been outside and inside for lighting tips. And so just a couple things, a couple takeaways that I did want to mention. So I love his last point where he says, you know, a personalized video or something like we're doing for social media, perhaps you want to just take a quick video of one of your crazy farm animals and maybe it's a bright sunny day and there are some wonky shadows, but you never know when you're going to catch your animal doing that crazy thing, you know, in the next few days. So the other day, my donkey was running around with a bag in his mouth and just being all crazy. And I wanted to capture that really fast. And sure, the lighting wasn't the best, but I knew that it would be one of the only chances that I could get. So I whipped out my smartphone, took the video anyway, and I still posted it on social media. So don't be so hard on yourself. These are just tips and tricks, and hopefully you can take some of these things away with you, especially if you are filming videos on your farm and you do have some flexibility. Maybe you want to film an educational video and you could do it any time of day. Well, you know, maybe wait until there's a cloudy day when the light is nice and diffused already naturally, or maybe you want to take it indoors and, you know, invest in $10, one of the lighting diffusers, or, you know, a nice light that you could use, or a little lamp. So I hope that video was helpful. So step number 2 in ways to create videos on your smartphone. So is just having a steady hand. And I know I'm kind of shaky when I take video, so I always like to have my phone propped up. I actually have one of those pop sockets, and so that also really helps. I can prop my phone up against, you know, like in a glass. Sometimes I'll like hang it on the side of a glass, or I'll prop it up against, you know, just a regular old object. But if you don't have the opportunity to actually prop your smart device up on something, I do think just using both hands when you're taking a video will really help to stabilize your smart device. And another trick is that when you're taking video, especially if it's not of you, somebody else, hold it really close to your body and you'll be way more controlled. Definitely test it out. It's something I did yesterday when I was making these slides. If I was using 2 hands and holding really far away, I was way shakier than if I just brought the camera a little bit closer into me. So just something to kind of check out. And then I will say that stabilizers and tripods and things along those lines are pretty affordable. And you can buy those on Amazon or at Walmart, Target, wherever you like to shop. And you can buy those for just a couple bucks. And it really will help to keep your smartphone or smart device quite stable when you're taking a video. So they do make little tripods for your phone, which I think are really great. I found one on Amazon for like $5 the other day. And so it just clips on easily to your smartphone. You can set it up, especially if you're just taking videos of yourself talking, or maybe you can just hold the tripod to make it a little bit steadier when you're out and about in the field. And then, like I said a little bit earlier, one of my tips is resting my phone on something. So certainly, pull up a table or a chair, or, stack up a few books and put your smart device up there for whenever you're filming, because it does give you a very steady surface. And in the long run, when you're editing your video, it will really help to have it not be so shaky, because your video footage won't be distorted, and it will be so much easier during the editing process. So one thing that I did want to bring up that I think is really neat, and these are like probably around $100 or so. So if you're really like ready gung-ho to start creating quality videos using your smart device, I would suggest investing in this. It's called a gimbal stabilizer. So a gimbal stabilizer is way more steady than your hand ever will be, and it eliminates that shaky or blurry footage. So it helps your videos look crisp and clear and better than ever before. So gimbal stabilizers use a brushless motor that keeps your smartphone or your camera steady during action shots. So I thought this was really great, especially since we're all on farms. You're constantly in the thick of some action. Maybe you're on your tractor, you want to take a great video of harvest time, whatever it might be. So gimbal stabilizers will really help to keep your smart device quite steady, even when you are in motion. And what I think is really neat about a gimbal stabilizer is that it has tracking capabilities. And we will watch a video about how a gimbal stabilizer works, but the tracking capability is really neat, because maybe you are tracking like my donkey that was running with the bag. If I would have had a gimbal stabilizer, the camera would have automatically focused on him the entire time as he was running. So that's really neat that you can have that tracking capability when you do invest a little bit into a gimbal stabilizer. And then I did include a list of 8 products that work quite well. So if you guys do want to take a look at this, I thought it was really great. There's a blog from Omnicore that talks about the 8 best smartphone gimbal stabilizers in 2020. And so it goes over the pros and cons about all these gimbal stabilizers. And you can see right here, they have them listed out like by editor's pick, most reviewed, top choice. And it does require batteries. So it goes over the battery life, how much it weighs, what type of model it is, and then you can check prices out on Amazon or wherever you like to shop. So I did include that in the slides if you guys want to take a look at that, if you are interested in investing in one. So this is a quick video about, what exactly is a gimbal stabilizer. So I think this is really great. It gives you a good perspective of how it works. And the guide is reviewing a certain type of gimbal stabilizer. So just keep that in mind as you're watching. But did want to show this to you guys. So we'll go ahead and share my computer audio again.
So I am recording this little selfie video with the DJI Osmo 2, which is a handheld gimbal that keeps your phone steady and can do stuff like track your face, track other people's faces, and let you make way better video with your phone than you could if you were just holding it with your stupid, dumb hand. What's amazing about this thing is it only costs 130 bucks. This is the original Osmo Mobile, and it was retailing for about 300 bucks. The differences between these is this is a little bit lighter, it has a longer lasting battery, which you can no longer remove. There's a few other differences worth talking about too, but to me, the most important difference is that this thing, in addition to holding your phone in landscape mode, can be rotated, and you'll be able to shoot in portrait mode. And as everybody knows, portrait mode video, portrait mode selfies, portrait mode whatever, is the way that most people look at videos on their phone these days, on Snapchat and Instagram and so on. Now, if you're familiar with gimbals, a lot of the stuff I'm about to say to you is stuff you already know, but it's worth talking about because this thing is so much cheaper than any other gimbal. It's 130 bucks, so a lot more people are gonna pick this thing up. So what this thing is for stabilizing your video and giving you like better, smoother tracking shots as you move around the world. Your smartphone probably already has a bunch of really good image stabilization, but what it doesn't have is the ability to just hold that up with one hand way far out and have these smooth, easy, good tracking moves. It's so good. It also probably can't do a thing where you can track somebody's face with it, and then it will handle the camera movements for staying centered on their face while you pan the camera around. So you can get a bunch of shots that you wouldn't be able to get on your own with just a phone. It's pretty cool. Now, the thing you should know about the current demo that I'm doing right here is right now I'm using beta software, and it gets a little buggy sometimes. Because this thing can shoot in portrait mode, and because it can also handle larger phones, you need to spend a little bit more time than you might be used to adjusting it. There's a few adjustments that you can make. The first is on the clamp, which is just sort of a, spring grip here, which isn't great. There's also another knob over here so that you can move it in and out. And the reason that that matters is you're going to be doing a lot more of it, because when you switch from portrait mode to landscape and vice versa, you're going to need to recalibrate this thing every time to make sure that it stays balanced. Now, I would say that's a big knock on this thing, but the last one couldn't even do portrait mode, so it's not that big of a deal. So, as I've been saying over and over again, this thing, the DJI Osmo 2, is only 129 bucks. It's available for pre-order now, and if you're really looking to up your video game with your phone, it's almost an impulse purchase. I think a lot of people are going to be picking this thing up.
So as I said, that is more of like a review for this, but I thought it would be really cool to show you guys just some of the capabilities of a gimbal stabilizer. So those kind of things are, anywhere from like 100 to 130 or something along those lines. And Sarah actually just popped in and said that she highly recommends it as well. One issue that also makes it buggy is if you plug in like one of those lavalier mics into it, it might not be as great for an interview because it does have some bugs there. So, every single piece of equipment out there is different. So do your research before you invest in something like this. Watch all the different YouTube reviews that are out there. But I will say it will really up your video game, and it connects right there to your smartphone. And what I did really love about this particular model is, like you said, it does allow you to take portrait and landscape videos. So that is one thing. A lot of people are still, in the school of thought where landscape is totally the best, but you do have apps like, Instastory or different social media sites that a portrait might be a better way to take a video. So that is something really cool about that gimbal stabilizer, is that you can shoot both different ways. So thank you for your insight, Sarah, as well on that. All right, so number 3 is that audio matters. A good video with poor audio quality is not gonna be good. Let me tell you, the wind, environmental noise, there's all sorts of stuff out there that can really drown out important audio while you're shooting video outside. And I know the majority of you guys are likely shooting video outside. So the built-in microphone on your smartphone is pretty low quality, honestly. And it's this one blog that I was reading says a lot of them are really improperly placed for taking video. So it's really common for them to catch all those different noises. I know I was watching a couple Facebook videos the other day from some farmer friends of mine, and when that wind starts blowing, it instantly sounds like psh, and it cuts out all the different audio. So there are a couple of things that you can do that will really help to eliminate some of that environmental wind type of noise, because it's really hard to edit that out later, which you will find out. So what I recommend is getting an external recording device, or at least a directional microphone that will work with your smartphone. So these are also fairly inexpensive. You can easily plug it right into your smartphone or your iPad, whatever you might have. And they're, like I said, pretty reasonably priced. And so it will work directly with your smart device. And another kind of tip I would say is that when you are using, even if you have an external device, still try to keep pretty close to your subject that's talking. If it's yourself, obviously, if you're like holding up your smart device, that's going to be a little bit easier to capture that good audio because you're close to your phone or your iPad. But if you are recording somebody that's like in the field or a little bit away, still try to get pretty close to them so that sound is a lot better. And then another kind of trick is that you can cover around the phone's microphone. Obviously, don't completely cover it, but if you do want to cover it, it will help your audio to be a little bit clearer if you aren't going to invest in some type of external recording device. So that is kind of another tip. I know, like if I'm on the phone talking, to my husband or whatnot, and I'm walking outside when that wind starts blowing, he's like, I can barely hear you. So what I do is I just cut my hand over where the phone's microphone is, and it helps to eliminate all that different kind of noise. And I did put a link in here as well to a YouTube video that we can watch real quick. It is talking about some of the different external recording devices that you can select, and they do cover 5 of the best external microphones in their opinion for smartphones. So I wanted to show you some of them. There is one thing that is common in the videographer field. They call it the dead cat or the dead animal. And you know how back in the day you'd see those microphones that are really, really fuzzy? That's what they call the dead cat or the dead animal. So it's essentially like this faux fur that helps to get some of that wind noise out of your videos. So if you've ever wondered what the purpose is of that, kind of interesting. So we'll go ahead and play this video as well.
People and most businesses can shoot a video like this. You'd agree, right? But what they can't do is stuff like this.
And I think, I'm sorry, there's an ad, so here we go.
Hey guys, it's John B here with Phone Arena. I know a lot of people shoot video with their smartphones. You see vloggers doing it, but there's a reason why. The quality has improved tremendously over the last several years. Not only to the quality, but the performance, the feature set. There's a lot that the smartphone can do when it comes to shooting video. But one area that's often neglected is the audio recording side. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about 5 of the best external microphones for your smartphone. The first one I'm going to be talking about here is called the Purple Panda microphone. I know it has a crazy name, but it's essentially a lavalier microphone. And I personally like lavalier microphones the best because they offer a lot of versatility in the way that you just plug it in, connect it to your subject, and that's it. You're going to get clear and clean audio no matter what, versus relying on the built-in microphones in your smartphone. It's under $20 too, which is the best part about it. So it doesn't cost you a whole lot. It comes with a lot of goodies too. You have the lavalier microphone, you have the furry windscreen cover, you have the extension cable, the TRS adapter so you could actually connect it to a DSLR camera if you want to, and comes with a pouch. So for beginners, I definitely recommend a lavalier microphone like this. The next one I'm going to talk about here is this one. This is the Rode SmartLav Plus microphone, and retails for $60. So there's a lot more cost involved in this one versus the Purple Panda one I just talked about. But there are 3 advantages to this one here. The first one being the brand recognition. You have Rode. They're known to make some great microphones, and they're known in this area. Number 2, the build quality. I like this build quality more so than the Purple Panda because it just feels more solid, and I do like the clip itself because it snakes the cable a lot better than the other one. And the last one being the most important, that's going to be audio performance. This one here, you're going to get cleaner sounding audio, and on top of that, there's some sort of amplification going on because the volume on this is significantly stronger than the Purple Panda one. Well, I personally appreciate the advantages of using a lavalier microphone. The thing about them is that you have to be close to your device because you're still tethered via wire. Now, if you want a little bit more freedom in terms of movement, I recommend checking out the next one here. This is the Rode VideoMic Me. It's a directional microphone. It attaches via the headphone jack on your smartphone. And then from there, the good thing about it is that it isolates the audio recording to a very narrow space in front of it. So it basically minimizes any ambient sound from the sides or even back. So it does a good job of doing that. But with this though, the issue is that there is a little bit of distance. You get the freedom of moving around, but now the further you go away, the more distant the audio recording is going to sound. But I really like how it's quick, easy, and intuitive. Just setting it up is not a problem at all. You don't have to worry about cables. You just connect it to the headphone jack, and that is it. Like I said earlier, Rode's products tends to be on the pricier side, but they do get fantastic audio quality, so really can't knock them for that. But as an alternative, I'm going to recommend this next one here. This is the Boya Video microphone, and just like the Rode VideoMic Me, it's priced at $60, but there are some included goodies that really gives it a little bit more value. So it comes with the directional microphone, which connects via the headphone jack, and it also comes with this fuzzy windscreen cover. You can have this smartphone holder and also a compact tripod that doubles as a grip. So essentially, you have a smartphone rig right from the get-go. So for just the price of just buying the Rode VideoMic Me, you're going to get some included goodies with the Boya Video microphone. And honestly, I think that's pretty cool. This is the Samsung Go Mic Mobile, and the benefit of this is that you have true wireless freedom, unlike a lavalier where you're tethered to a wire. or a directional microphone where you could have so much distance away from you. This type of setup gives you the full freedom of moving around. This is the most expensive. It retails for $260. There are 2 kits available. You have one with this type of microphone, and then you have a lavalier kit. This is great for things like maybe an interview and you have true freedom in actually moving around and maintaining that audio quality. The thing is that it's going to require some batteries, so that's something you want to think about. And that's it. Those are my top 5 best external microphones for smartphones. If you guys want to learn more about any of the ones I talked about, you can.
All right, so hopefully that was also helpful just to see quite a wide variety. I mean, there are so many different types of microphones that are out there. So I definitely wanted to share that with you guys. I will say that I really do like the lavaliers. Those are really nice, especially, you know, if you're going to be doing a lot of video of yourself perhaps and you want some nice crisp audio. If you're, you know, maybe you're interviewing a lot of people, maybe the microphone, the handheld mic is really good for you. But play around, definitely, again, just like some of these other tools that you can buy, do your research on them, watch YouTube videos and decide what's going to be best for you. And remember, when you're looking up all these things, what are you shooting video of? Or, you know, what's your purpose behind these videos? If you're out in the field, then I wouldn't do a handheld microphone. But if you are going to be interviewing other people, then yeah, sure, maybe the handheld mic is better for you. So always remember going back to what's my goal? Why am I actually creating these videos? So this will be in the slides. You can refer back to that YouTube video if you'd like. I do think that audio really, really matters for whenever you're creating a good video. And one thing too, just from personal experience, I do a lot of video just, you know, straight from my smartphone microphone. I don't even use some of those different devices, especially if I'm indoors. I mean, my phone will do a pretty good job, but always make sure that you shut yourself in a room, that it's quiet, and, you know, there's no background noise like the HVAC kicking on or your dog running down the hallway or whatnot. Some people will even put up like padding or rugs or different things like that on their walls and make that like their little video cave or whatever you want to call it. So something else to keep in mind, that if you do just want to use your smartphone, just put up some fabric or kind of close yourself off into a really private, quiet room. Even one that has carpet in it does really well compared to something that is like a hardwood floor or tile or concrete or something like that. And then I did pop this in as well. It's one of those other different types of audio devices. It's a video and it's just a couple minutes long. You can watch it on your own time if you'd like, but I did want to make sure that you had this review. I really do like this mic device and our videographer recommends it. So something that is just like a couple minutes long, but I did want to pop that into the slides. And if we have some time at the end, I can pop back and we can watch it if you'd like. So the next up is staying close to your subject really does matter when you're taking video. So staying physically closer to your subject ensures a couple different things. So the first one is better image quality. So it won't be as grainy. I know when I'm filming my donkey on our farm, if I'm really close up to him, the video looks perfect. It looks absolutely wonderful. But if he's really far away and I'm trying to zoom in or whatnot, it gets a little bit grainier. So staying close is definitely the best if you can. And then it also ensures that you have less digital noise. So the closer you are, the better the audio is going to be. And then it does allow for better focus in your videos for a smartphone. So that's something else just to keep in mind. It won't be as grainy and blurry if you are way closer. If your video requires super zoom close-ups of tiny details, they do make macro lenses that will fit any iPhone or Android smartphone. So that's something else that you can also easily purchase on like Amazon or at Walmart or whatnot. They do make these really cool lenses. And sometimes you can get like a really great deal on a wide variety of different types of lenses. Like maybe they'll include 3 different lenses or whatnot. And so you can kind of play around with that. But those are also really fun for photography too. So another thing to keep in mind. Next up is remember what platform you're filming for. So I know I said that a little bit earlier, but remember, you know, if you're going to be filming mainly on Instagram and you want it to be portrait mode, by all means, go for it. But maybe you're shooting primarily for YouTube, which is way better landscape. So I know we had somebody who has a YouTube vlog. So filming that landscape is going to be your best bet. But maybe you're just filming for Instagram or what have you. You know, remember which one you're filming for and adjust how you're taking those videos moving forward. So is it going to be portrait or landscape mode? So avoid shooting vertical video when possible, unless you're creating that video for a social media network where you need to have that vertical video. Easy to shift your focus. You can hold your phone horizontally so that video is played back on other screens virtually everywhere will look fine. So rule of thumb is that having a horizontal video will look the best across the board. And then finally, you can improve your video with many different types of mobile apps. So there's more to video recording than what most of the built-in smartphone camera functions actually offer. So you can get a wide variety of different mobile apps, just directly download it to your smart device, and you can use that to actually shoot your video. So there are a lot of great third-party apps out there. If you do click on this link in the slides when you get it, you will have a chance to take a look at this, and they list out a bunch of different apps like Top Camera 2, Pinnacle Studio, etc. So highly recommend taking a look at that. But these apps are really intuitive. They have great features for those that are new to developing video content. And so a couple that I wanted to go over with you guys today. The first one is Top Camera 2. So this is a third-party app that features a slow shutter mode and high quality video recording. And it also has excellent HDR or high dynamic range shooting. And it also has smart folders, so you can easily organize your video footage. So something, you know, maybe I'd use Top Camera 2 if I'm filming an educational series of like beekeeping. And so perhaps I wanted to, you know, talk about step number 1 and film that in a little segment. And then, you know, an hour later, I'm going to talk about step number 2 for beekeeping. And so it lets me put all of these different clips into one folder that I call like beekeeping project or whatnot. So that is something really neat about Top Camera 2. It helps to keep you really organized. Then there also is Pinnacle Studio. And all you have to do with this app is to import and arrange your clips into an easy to use storyboard, which is similar to the app that I am going to show you guys in just a few minutes. And then there is VideoPix that is great for turning photos into video. So that is something that we do see a lot on social media. Maybe you have like a bunch of awesome photos that you've taken and you want to, you know, do voiceover or add that into a video. VideoPix is a really great app for that. And Lucindy just had a quick question on the chat. She said, is horizontal or vertical a better choice for Instagram? I would say for in the feed, you definitely would want to have more of that like landscape oriented video. I think that looks really nice. It does depend on if you are going to make just like short videos for Insta story. I would definitely do more of that portrait mode, because it's going to be showing up as you know, the length of your phone whenever you're doing an Insta story. So that's where I would, you know, kind of play around depending on what part of Instagram you're using, use different types of video orientation for that. But great question there. So Filmora Go is a fantastic application that I am going to show you guys how to use. And so it is available, as I said in the very beginning of the presentation, on iOS and Android. And it's a video editing application. So what you do is take your videos, whatever app you want, or maybe just directly on your camera, you can take your videos and then put them all together and edit them using this app, Filmora Go. I did include a video tutorial about how to use it, but I am going to share my screen and go over it with you guys. And then if you guys do need to refer back to like a good resource, maybe you had a quick question about it or whatnot, this video is absolutely fantastic. Somebody put this together on YouTube and it's a great tutorial. So certainly refer back to that. But I am going to share my screen with you guys, and we'll go ahead and get started on that. So give me just 1 second to do that. Okay. I'll stop the share on here. Okay, so now you guys should be able to see my phone. So you'll see all my apps right here. But so Filmora Go is the one that we are going to be taking a look at. So I'm going to find my Filmora Go app. That is what it looks like. It's the one in the top left corner that I have. So Filmora Go. Definitely go ahead if you want to download it and play along at the same time and kind of, see how it works on your operating device or on your smart device, that would be awesome. So Filmora Go. So after you open it up, it will orient it to be a landscape type of orientation. So you have the option to create a new video or go to your saved projects. So like some of the other apps out there, it does allow you to save your projects in a very organized fashion. So I do love that about Filmora Go. So if I were to click on my saved projects, you'll see I have the donkey video projects. I have a video project of a local chef that was doing a recipe demo. And then here's another local chef that was doing a recipe video that I shared. So you can label your projects if you want, or it will automatically just title them like project 1, 2, 3, 4, what have you. And then if you do need to go back into a particular project and edit it, you'll just click on that little button right there, and then you can edit it directly in here, and then just hit save up at the top, and it will save the project with whatever edits that you've created. So I am going to give it just a second since I hit save. It'll be toggling for a few seconds. But so you can see right now it's currently saving my donkey project, which we are going to edit in a little bit. So stay tuned for more Ollie. But Michelle is chatting in Ollie. He's our little donkey on the farm and is quite the character. So I always am taking video of him either munching on carrots or apples or whatnot. So sorry, this is taking a little bit of time, but we'll give it just another second. And then Rita popped in and said, should live Facebook be shot vertical or horizontal? I personally prefer to shoot it that landscape. I think it does really well on Facebook Live when you do landscape, but I do know some people that, are a different school of thought where they want it more portrait. You can do either one, but the more landscape will give you a broader look on social media. So I would say shoot it landscape, but great question there. All right, so after you do save your project, and we will go through how to edit it, it will give you an option about where you want to share it. So after you save the project in Filmora Go, I did want to point out that you can easily pop it right into your Instagram feed if it's connected on your smartphone. So you'll see Instagram right here. There's also Facebook, Vimeo. You can directly upload it to Vimeo, to YouTube. So I know some of you are doing vlogs on YouTube. That's really great. You can send it as a WhatsApp message if you guys use that. You could save it to your camera roll, add it to Tumblr, or email it. So I think that's really fantastic. You can also preview the project. It's in the upper right at the top. So you could preview that if you want as well. So we're going to cancel out of this, and I'm going to go back. So that's how it looks if you've already saved your project and you want to go ahead and share it. But say we want to create a brand new video. So I'll click on this plus sign to create a new video. So what I'm going to do now is look at my different files and figure out what different clips I want to put all together to create my one new video project. So I know that I have a lot of great donkey content under my camera. So I'm going to click on that. It will give you an option. You can, I have all my different files organized. I have downloaded, I have my Instagram, video clips, screen recording. I do a lot of screen recording for my clients. So I could click on whatever folder I need to access those clips. But I'm going to click on my camera, and I have all sorts of great content in here of little video clips. So they'll appear like a little circle, and it'll have how many seconds are in each one of those video clips. So I'm going to tap on, for my very first clip that I want in the video, I shot this great thing the other day of some flowers just blowing in the wind. So I'm going to select that clip, and then down at the bottom, it says add. So I'll go ahead and add that. So you're essentially adding this clip into your project. So right now we have it as clip number 1 in my project. But then I'm gonna go back because I don't know which one I want to have as my second clip. So maybe let me click on this video, and you can actually watch your little clip in here if you want. So this was me feeding Ollie carrots. He is munching along. So I'm gonna actually add that one in because that's the one I want to appear right after the flower clip. So I'll hit add, and then it pops it into my project as number 2. So then I want just one other video kind of to wrap things up. So I know that I took this really great video of him running with a bag the other day. So I'm gonna add that into my project. And then after I have all my different clips added into my project, so I have my 3 clips, I can click next. Or I could go back and select other video clips if I want. but I'm gonna go ahead and click next. So it will take just a couple minutes to process, and then it will put them all together. So if I were to watch my video right now, you would see that it's 59 total seconds. And so all three of those clips together are 59 seconds. So if I watch it, it will show the flowers that are blowing back and forth, and then it will immediately jump over to the donkey clip after the flowers are done. So you'll see it's kind of a not a great transition. So I might want to edit that a little bit, especially when you're taking lots of clips and compiling them all together. So right now it's that 59-second video, and I know that I need to add some transitions and just add a little bit of oomph to my video before I want to make it live. So if I wanted to edit, back to the flower clip, maybe I want to trim this clip or crop it or add subtitles, add voiceover over it, anything like that. I can do that all down at the bottom where you see like trim clip starts. So these are all the different tools that Filmora Go offers you. So I really like the trim clip. I think this is very helpful, especially when I was taking some of those recipe videos of chefs, and I'd be like, okay, on the count of 3, I'm gonna hit go, and then I would hit go and I'd start recording, and the chef would be like, wait, are we filming? And I'd be like, yes, we're filming. And so, it's always funny. Sometimes you might have a couple seconds at the beginning where you just need to trim that off and have it start as soon as the chef was ready, or as soon as, the farmer that you're filming was ready. So you could easily trim it just by sliding this blue button right here. So I could slide it. Maybe I only want this clip to just be a few seconds long. So I'm going to trim it down like so. And then I'm going to hit OK. And now it will trim that clip to be much faster. So it's only a few seconds. It's only going to be 4 seconds for that little intro of my video. But say I wanted to crop this. Maybe I only wanted, just really close up on that one flower. I could easily do that just by pinching and dragging to resize the video. So if I wanted to, maybe just focus up near the top of the field, I could do that as well. So I'm going to do that because I really like how the clouds look. And then I'm going to hit OK. And it will go ahead. I've now trimmed it and I've cropped it. Perhaps I want to add in subtitles. I could easily do that here. And I could add a title to my video. So let's just call this Ollie's farm. I don't know. And then we'll change the color of it. Maybe I wanted it to be like a darker gray. Sorry, I have text coming in. And then let's say I want to change the font. Maybe I want to change it to this kind of font, or just play around and get creative. So we'll do that. And then I can adjust it, drag it, and drop it wherever I would want. So I'll do that. You can have the option, which I think is really fun. There's like a Star Wars one where it will, kind of go up like in a Star Wars video. They also have what's called glitch. If you wanted to add that effect, it kind of flashes, looks like a glitch. They have another one called flash where it could flash up the text. There's all these different types of options over on the left-hand side. So the scaling one I think is kind of cool. So I think I'm going to use the scaling one for Ollie's farm. So I'll go ahead and hit OK. And then maybe I want to add a voiceover or something along those lines. I could click on the voiceover button, and then I can start recording, and I can just click tap to record, and it would record me talking on top of the current audio that's in this video. So if I wanted to do that, I'd simply hit tap to record, and then I'd hit delete or OK if I wanted to save it. So I'm not going to save this one, and then I'll just hit cancel on that. There's also Audio Mixer where you can play around. If you wanted to, let's say, do a voiceover, but you didn't want any of the sound from the video that you filmed to appear. So on the far left, you'll see this little camera button. I could turn it all the way off just by dragging my finger. Maybe I wanted to add music on top of my video. So I want to have the music that I've selected be the loudest. I could adjust it there. Or if I wanted to add the voiceover, I could adjust it there. But you do have to add in that voiceover before you can drag it and make it the full sound or the full audio of that clip. So right now, I'm just going to take off all sound for the intro. So I'm going to hit OK, and it will save it. And then there are some interesting kind of filters that you can add to your video. So you know how on Instagram, how you have all those like funny filters and different things like that you can. So you can go over to the preset and actually add in filters. So if I wanted to make it look like really saturated purple, I might click the violet one. Maybe I want it to just be black and white to really set the mood or whatnot. So they have all these pre-built in filters. So for me, I'm going to hit the Dandy filter. I like that one for this particular video. So I can also select the different strength that I want. So maybe I just want it, halfway to be the Dandy filter. So I'll drop it down to about 50%, and then I'll hit OK. Or I could apply all to all of the video clips, those 3 video clips that I selected into my project. So I'm going to hit apply all because I think it's great to have it consistent across the board. So then I'm going to hit OK. And then that's kind of it for editing that clip. There is the manage button that will let you delete some of, or not delete, but remove some of those different things from your clip if you don't want to see it regularly. So if you're somebody that's not doing voiceover really ever, you could just pop into the setting and deselect voiceover, and it will just take it off of your settings that appear down at the bottom. So just a little helpful tip if you were wondering what that manage button did. So I'm going to hit OK. Or I'm sorry, I'm going to go down to clip number 2 before we move on. So now I know that I have my flower intro. It says Ollie's Farm for the text, and then it's going to go over to my clip number 2. So let's say I just wanted to trim this a little bit just to him walking up. And so I'm going to go ahead and just take that off. So I'm going to trim it, and it'll be, just a few seconds long. So I'll go ahead and hit OK. And then for clip number 3, let's see, I have a really fun video of him running. So I'm rolling down the window in the video, so I don't really love how that sounds. So maybe what I'll do is go to my audio mixer and take that totally off, actually. So I'll go ahead and remove that sound. And then you know what, maybe in clip number 2, I also don't want the sound on there. So I am gonna take off the sound for that. Maybe I just wanna add music to the back end. So now that I've edited my clips, I'm good to go. I think this one, let's maybe trim it just a hair at the end. And so it'll be just a few seconds long, and I'll just hit OK. So now I have edited, and I've added in, if I wanted voiceover or different kind of theme, I've added that all in there. So I'll hit OK. And then somebody had a question in the chat about music. So something to keep in mind is that you do have to be cognizant of copyright laws. So if you're using some kind of music that's really popular right now, you could be violating copyright infringement. So I always recommend going into whatever type of editing app you have and using their built-in music. So you could easily add in music that is already in that app, or maybe you want to go and download something. There's a ton of free music websites, and I can include that in the slides when I send it, some apps where you can go and download free video. So maybe I want to just use this adventure preset that I have. So I'll go ahead and add that into my video, and I'll hit OK. You can add in other types of music if you want. So you could do 5 different types of songs if you want and edit it even more that way. So we'll go ahead and hit OK. And then if you wanted to add transitions, so this is something that I think is really great. I used it a lot with those chef videos that I filmed because there were so many different clips, and it just didn't look that great, instantly going to the next clip. So you can hit this transition button and add in different types of transitions. So in between the flowers and the first clip of Ollie, I have my plus sign highlighted right here, and I want to add in a transition. So I'm going to click on the different presets that are available. So I'll see there's a pixelate. So I could pixelate him if I wanted to. I could add a fisheye if I wanted to, expand it. There's all sorts of stuff. I really like the division one. I think that one's kind of cool. So I'm going to hit OK. But maybe now I want to add in my second transition. So right now you'll see we already have one selected, those little arrows right here. But maybe I want to add in my second transition. So I'm going to choose a different one. Let's do the bouncing one. I think that one will be kind of fun. So I'll go ahead and I'll add that in, and I'll just hit OK. Then if I wanted to adjust the ratio or crop my entire project, this is where I can go to that ratio crop. So this is super cool, especially for those of you that are, maybe filming for like YouTube and you need a certain type of ratio, or maybe you want to cut the sides of your video or whatever you might have, or maybe you shot your video where it was in like a portrait mode and you just want to blur the backgrounds. Maybe you're making it more horizontal. You can click this little blur button if you want. Maybe you want to just do 16:9 or 21:9, 1:1. You can do all sorts of things right in here. So I'm going to select 16:9 for this one. And then I'm going to go back into my editing tools. I think everything looks good. Maybe at the last minute, I want to add voiceover. I could just pop in there, what have you. And then I'll just hit OK. I'm feeling really good about my project. If I want to go back and watch it at any time, I can just click this little play button. And so now you'll see the Ollie's Farm popped up. You can hear all the different sound. The donkey is having a great time. You can see the different transitions in between the clips. And so I think it looks pretty good to go. Here we go. I'm going to show the next transition in my little video. So that was the bounce transition. There he comes running with the bag. So I'm happy with it. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. So it will take a little bit to save the project, but as soon as I have saved my project, I can then, like we said, go in and add it to Instagram or to YouTube or what have you. So that's something that's really great. So I absolutely love this app. I think it's a lot of fun to use. So maybe I want to go ahead and share it to Instagram. I could add it to my feed or my stories. So I'll click on my feed, and then it will automatically populate that video right into my Instagram feed, which I think is super awesome. So if I wanted to go ahead and share that, then I would, create a new post, make sure my sound is on. I could even edit it more in Instagram if I wanted to add a different kind of filter or whatnot. But if not, you're ready to go. You simply can just start writing your caption and just share your video right there. So it's a really powerful tool. I absolutely love Filmora Go. And say I wanted to go back in here and edit that project. So I could go in here and then just click that pencil again. And then I can add in, whatever I might want on here. So that is pretty cool. If you are, interested in just going back to a project, maybe you just want to save it for later. You're done editing for a little bit and you want to come back to it. So I really love this app. It's quite functional, and I think there's a lot more that you can do with it than some of the other applications that are out there. I know somebody had popped in, it has way more features than iMovie, and that's what Natalie had been using, Natalie Smith. So certainly, definitely play around. There are so many of these apps out there, and I was pretty picky in which one I really like to use. And so I found this one and I really thought it was great. Melissa said, how much phone storage does this app take? I am not sure on that, but I will get back to you. But I will say I've done a lot of projects on my phone, and I guess I have a good amount of storage on my phone. But if you do have the ability, like with your phone, to add in like a SD card, I know some phones do that. You can do that too. But yeah, that's kind of the app. And I will get back to you guys, Michelle, on importing logos. I believe that you can do that. I'll see if I can find the tips on that and send that to you also at the end, since I know that we're out of time. But you should be able to add in like other just stills if you want as well, and logos and different things like that. So pretty cool. But that's Filmora Go, and I hope that you guys learned a new tool and really have enjoyed teaching you guys a little bit more about that. So let me turn off my my share screen on here. But if anybody has questions, I know we ran over just a little bit, please, please, please feel free to email me, and I'm more than happy to get back to you. Michelle, look into the logos and the title slide and see if I can just find like a quick tutorial video to also include when I send out the slides. But I hope this was helpful, and I will be sending out all of these slides and the recording of this session today. And as I said earlier, for those of you that might have joined a little bit later, feel free to email me if you have missed a class and you want to take a look at the slides. I'm happy to send those to you. And just wanted to shout out, big thank you to the North Carolina Department of Agriculture. I know Heather Barnes is on here, Nick Augustini is on here as well, and Kathy Ma. There's a lot of great folks from the NCDA. They have made this possible. And then also along with the Warren County Economic Development Office, Stacy Woodhouse is the director there, and he's been awesome to let me use their amazing space and their microphone and all sorts of computer equipment. So big thank you to both of those organizations. So I appreciate you all. Feel free to email me. I'll pop it into the chat again if you guys have any questions or if you need anything.